probably 2 to 3 Zoom sessions a week where we have consultation with students. And that's actually in a lot smaller setting. There's definitely not 286 students turning up to consultation. We probably have about 8 students at each session. And I think that's where I'm finding the real connections are happening, especially where, for example, last week I did a consultation just after the Easter break, and I had 4 students with me, and I was showing them my backyard. They were showing me their bedroom, their office. One of the girls was showing me her collection of teddy bears on her bed. And that type of connection doesn't usually happen in a face-to-face semester because we're so in such a hurry to go through the material. So I think these little connections we're making through regular announcement to students, our discussion board on Canvas is absolutely chock-a-block full of questions, and we answer them pretty much in 24 hours, and the students like that connection as well, which is quite timely. We've had to redesign things, and that's something I didn't anticipate. I just thought I could take all the face-to-face content, the application questions, and just put them into this Zoom session and run with it. But it wasn't the case. We had to really refine how we were actually presenting the content and what we wanted students to get out of each week. So what we did is we involved another technology in our Zoom sessions. We utilised Socrative, and Socrative has been fantastic because students have been able to write their answers into the Socrative software and also present those answers in real time back to us and the entire cohort. And I think the wonderful thing with using additional technology has been that I am able to then print off a PDF report and provide more answers and feedback to students, which I think is quite valuable. And I think it's good too, because you also capture those students that perhaps don't come to a Zoom session. So they get the benefit of seeing what students had worked on and their answers to questions. And I think that's a good value add for students. Students and teachers on our unit are learning new technologies. We've learned how to use Zoom. We've learned how to use Proctor.U. We've actually even learned how to use some of the functions in Canvas a lot better, like the quiz functions. So this sort of learning that we've all had is actually proving that we can be agile, we can be problem solvers, and we can actually develop some really good digital skills in a short time frame. My life is like I'm living in Zoom all the time, and my family jokes about it. And the way I sort of cope with the jokes and, you know, your mum, you're always on Zoom, is that I try and stay positive, and I wake up every morning doing a bit of meditation first. I end up having a shower, I get dressed as if I'm going to work, and I just try to stay sane. And one of the ways I stay sane is by playing with virtual backgrounds in Zoom. So this is Earl's at Newtown, and that's in the old butchery. So I have a bit of fun with the backgrounds all the time. And I actually put this on in one of my first classes, and I asked the students, who is this man? And they thought it was very, very funny, but they actually couldn't answer me who it was. So I'll have to have a word to Greg to get his profile out there a bit more with students. Now, I remember starting the Zoom session, the first one I had 75 students. And I remember them coming on to the Zoom session, and one of the challenges that I had was students were coming on with a blank screen or just a profile picture of a cat or a dog, and they were a little bit hesitant to show us who they really are. So I really have promoted on our unit to have students coming to a Zoom session with their live video. And that's because I've said to them, you would never turn up to a classroom at the business school and have your back to me. That just wouldn't happen. So if you come onto the Zoom session with a blank screen, it's like you've got your back to me. So that was one of the things that I had implemented with my teaching team. No live video, no joining. And that's actually worked really well, especially when the students break out into their little breakout groups. It's really good that they can see each other and talk to each other. don't be scared of being challenged and going into a new adventure. So the online is definitely a new adventure for me, but I remember the week we were told we're going online the next week, and I went, oh my goodness, this can't be happening. So my tip for everyone out there is, we are the business school. We're at the Sydney University. If we can't handle rapid change, then who can? So that's the attitude that I think you should take with any change. If you can't handle it, then think about what we're telling our students. We want our students to have graduate qualities like resilience and be able to problem solve. So if we can't do it as academics, who can? So I think it's really important that we don't be afraid of the challenge and we try and accept it. But I think we also have to be quite critical of the process, evaluate the process, and use our voice to, I suppose, highlight some of the inadequacies in the process, or what's missing, or where do we need more support. So I think it's still important that we use our voice and that we're mindful of everyone's sort of experience with this online learning.